Oh yeah, it's onesie time. So around a month ago, I made a video on this Dance Dance Revolution that I built on a live stream, and I'm looking at this now, and it's just pretty small. It can definitely be improved on, but you know, I did this mostly live except for like this little extra decoration, but I thought that I could do way better. So I put up a community post of a new Dance Dance Revolution. I put a screenshot of it and it was pretty massive and you guys wanted to see it, and now here we are a month later. I'm running out of video ideas and I really don't want to do a tutorial. So without further ado, let's go check out the new Dance Dance Revolution. So right now we are on our way to the Dance Dance Revolution minigame, and you might be thinking, what the heck is this server? Why is there a giant robot behind me and all of these weird builds? Well, basically what this server is a server by a YouTuber by the name of the 3D Printing Professor, and he is holding an event because Maker Faire is cancelled because of obvious reasons of COVID-19. So he decided to hold an online Minecraft version of it where people can get together, and then on August 28th, this server will be open to the public and set in adventure mode where you can explore the various builds on this world. Now right now the only way you can get on is to be whitelisted by signing up on his Google form on his video, so all of you should sign up because there's some really cool stuff, and if you're gonna sign up, be respectful, build cool things, don't be a stupid dumb, actually be like a decent human being if you are gonna join this. But yeah, I encourage you all to join and get involved with this event. So anyway, when you do get set to adventure mode, the way you get up this thing is you go through this little bubble column over here all the way to the top, and boom, you're greeted with these cursed pistons. Very cool. The debug stick is amazing. You open this door and we are here at the game. There's this lectern, basically tells you what to do, but I'm gonna explain everything in this video. So you have a few options over here. You got your pressure plates to actually play the game. Oh my god, I keep breaking things. And if you step on a pressure plate, there's actually a lamp under that corresponding arrow to kind of indicate that you are standing on that pressure plate. However, it's kind of stupid since you can only really see it if you're standing on the upwards one. You can sort of see it if you're standing on the side ones, but I don't know. They kind of they're basically useless. And then on the downwards arrow, you just can't see anything at all. But I tried to make it so you can generally see the entire board when you are playing. And over here we have a chest with some music discs, so you can, I don't know, play a music disc while you play. And over here we have our toggle difficulty options, and I'll explain how all of this works later when we do the explanation. So let's just set it on easy and start the game. I'll get like, I don't know, 2 points and then let the hearts like lose and kill themselves. So let's start the game. And as you can see, the arrows are gonna start falling, and I used arrows this time instead of just a row of redstone lamps. So there we go. That turns on, we get a point. That turns on, we get another point. Okay, we have 2 points. Let's let this die now. So, like the other Dance Dance Revolution, you still have 3 lives, except, wow, look at this. The hearts are way bigger, and it looks way cooler. Like, my god, look at that. And just like the other one, we get a game over screen. And we are going to get a lag spike right about now, and all of these hearts are going to turn back into their bright red form. There we go. That lag spike happened, and there are our hearts. And then once you're done, you've lost everything, you can push the exit button and go in here and just land on this slime block. So that is basically how this works. Now, I'm not going to show the other difficulties. That will be a surprise for when you actually get here. So enjoy on August 28th, or you can come early if you actually want to do the event and be whitelisted. So let's look at the redstone and see how the heck this thing works. I'm going to try and be short because a lot of this is similar to the previous Dance Dance Revolution. So let's just start with the inputs, because why not? So let me actually go back all the way over here. So there are 2 direct inputs to this Dance Dance Revolution machine. We have our toggle difficulty and the start game, and then obviously we have our pressure plates that activate the arrows. So the toggle difficulty, each button has 2 command blocks with 2 set block commands. One has a set block command for a redstone block, and the other one has a set block command for air. So that will basically simulate a button press in the actual machine, and you know we don't have those long, ugly wires. And then that is the same thing with the start button. They have a set block command for redstone block and an air block. So the toggle difficulty buttons will go over here. So the upwards one will go over here, and the downwards one will go into here, or the other way around. I don't really know exactly. So right now, the easy difficulty is selected. So that means this cell is activated in the shift register. Now what a shift register does, it's really easy. It just moves this signal to the left or to the right. That's basically in the most layman terms that I can put it. So this will go into this red line all the way over here, and it'll be powered by these pistons. Now this is what happens when you actually turn the game on. So when you push the start game button, it's going to place a redstone block here, and this piston, and this piston are going to extend. So depending on which redstone line you have chosen for your difficulty, a block is going to be pushed down, power that repeater, and go into this little torch tower, and it's going to activate this clock, and now this clock is going to start running. So now that clock is going to go into this redstone line over here into our blue circuit, which is our randomizer, so we'll get onto this later. And then over here into the magenta, we just have 3 sticky pistons with some redstone blocks and some magenta lines. All this is just some arrows, just so it looks a little bit cooler, just like that. And then the letters are just powered by redstone blocks because we don't need to change them. So that is the start of the game. So over here we have a sorting system exactly like the previous Dance Dance Revolution game, and basically over here we have our 4 random items for the 4 random arrows, and they go into this sorting system over here. So one of these pieces of redstone dust will be activated. So if this one's activated, goes through this repeater, this one's activated, goes through this note block and updates this observer, same with the one next to it, and then on the right we have another repeater just like the left one, so it's symmetrical. So each one of these green circuits will be powered randomly, and that is where we have our arrows. So we just have a bunch of arrow kind of powering cells like this, then we just have an observer chain that just powers it from the top to the bottom, so it kind of looks like it's moving downwards. So now let's follow it downwards all the way to the bottom and see what's happening down here. So down here we have our win and lose detect system. So whenever you click on those pressure plates, they are going to also have a set block command, which puts a block on top of this observer. So it'll either put it on this observer, or if we go over here, it'll go on this observer, or this observer. So there's no observer over here, never mind, why did I say that? So it's going to put a block in front. So let's say whatever arrow this is, it goes all the way down, and that arrow gets powered. There's a block that goes in front of this repeater, and this repeater will now power this redstone line because there is a block in front. And if we just follow this little yellow wire all the way here, it will extend this piston, pushing this redstone block out of the way, so then this piston won't be able to extend even if the lose line is powered. But let's say you didn't activate it, and this redstone line never gets activated. It goes to the back, so all of these have this other little back circuit, and that will also go all the way to over here, and it will power through this block and through this piston because there's nothing that ever powers this back piston. So let's follow the lose detect first. So if this actually gets extended and we follow up this bubble column insta wire, basically what this is a soul sand block will be pushed, and all of these water source blocks will be turned into bubble columns, and it will update this observer twice because, you know, it's a button pulse, observer pulse, you get the idea. And for some reason, sodium is really struggling to render the water properly. So this piston will be activated twice, so it's going to retract and extend again and power this block and this redstone dust, and that is going to power this piston. And if we just follow this redstone line, it'll also power this piston 2 ticks after, and it's going to power this piston 2 ticks after that. So we have kind of like a wave pattern. So that's going to extend, that's going to extend, but when the last one extends, something different happens. We have a repeater here. So when this gets pushed up, there's going to now be a block in front of that repeater, which is going to bud power this sticky piston over here. So now this piston will stay infinitely extended until we reset this. So now we have this redstone line, which will carry across to the second one. So now this piece of redstone dust will be turned on. So when the loser line detect thing is activated, this will extend and stay permanently extended. And then same thing all the way in the back. This last one will extend and it will go through the reset line. So this is going to extend, power this block. We get our set block command for air, which is going to replace that redstone block over there with air and end the game. And we have our game over title command like that. And then we have this long delay just to make it so you can definitely see that you've lost the game. And it's going to turn off this torch, and that will retract all of these pistons, which that means it will update all of these observers again, and it will toggle the hearts. Now let's see how the hearts work, because they're the coolest looking system in the entire thing. So in the previous version, the hearts were like 3x3, so it was really easy to use pushers. But over here, we have a piston feed tape. So we have our dark side on the back and our little alive side displaying right now on this heart. So let's just manually activate it and update this piston and see what happens. So we do this, and we get a nice loud piston feed tape, and there we go. It is now on the dark side. Ooh, spooky. And the heart is dead. This is so sad. So basically how this works, we have a clock running over here, and we just have a kind of pulse extender hopper clock to tell the clock how many times to power. That's basically how it works. So it's just timed the correct way, so we get exactly 10 pulses through the piston feed tape. So there we go, piston feed tape is now alive again. That's so fun. So we just have 3 of those. So that is the lose detect and the heart system. So now let's look at the win detect. So whenever you activate one of those pressure plates, it'll also activate not only this piston, it'll activate this line down here. And let's just follow these instant repeaters all the way over here. You'll activate this signal strength counter. Now this is a slightly different design. This is actually Deco's design, and I use this one because it's a lot better. It's less likely to kind of break itself. The other one had a chance to break itself. That's basically why I like this one better. And just like the other one, it's just a signal strength counter attached to a redstone signal strength decoder, red coder, whatever you want to call it. So right now it is set on 2, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's set on number 2, and how we control these segments. So over here we have redstone dust, so it's going to carry the signal into that segment. But over here we have a repeater, so it's not going to carry through. It's as simple as that really cool stuff. And we just have pistons, redstone blocks being pushed upwards. So this thing will slowly go up, and then when it gets to the signal strength of 10, it will reset this counter over here, and it's going to activate this counter over here. And same thing, when this resets, it's going to activate the third counter, but I don't know if anyone's ever going to get to 100. So now we have the lose detect explained and the win detect explained. Now how the heck does the game end? So when this gets set block to aired, so that redstone block just disappears, this piston over here will retract. Now in 1.16, there's a really cool feature where you can make insta-wire with cobblestone walls. So some of you may know that cobblestone walls got a nice visual update, so now they look a lot nicer when they connect to blocks. But also, let's say you have a wall like this, and if you just place another wall on top, they all turn into this other kind of wall shape with this pillar in the middle. And guess what? This happens instantly. It's so nice. So we can basically make wall insta-wire. So this gets all activated instantly, all the way till down here, and this observer can detect it. So that is a really cool feature. And when this observer detects it, activates this line, basically what this does is it resets all the counters, same way as the other one, by just powering the redstone dust underneath like this. So there we go. All this gets reset, the game ends, and then all of that will reset because the counter that counts the hearts will also just end like that. So yeah, that is basically Dance Dance Revolution in Minecraft. Very similar to the previous one, but we have some 1.16 fun stuff like wallstone. Like, oh my god, this is actually one of the coolest new well, it's not really a redstone feature, but it's so good. Previously in the snapshots you had to use trapdoors, but that no longer works, so you do actually have to push a wall on top. I tried blocks, that won't work, but a wall will work. Wall insta-wire. It's the new insta-wire. It's so beautiful. Now I'm just gonna briefly kind of explore this server, show a little more stuff. So if you just came here for Dance Dance Revolution, you can leave. But if you want to know more about this server, stay a little bit so I can show you some other stuff. So we have Pong. It's just a schematic that I pasted in of my Pong game, exactly like the Pong game that you saw in that video. I don't know how old it is, it's probably like a few months now. And over here we have the actual main area. So when you do log in, you actually only get a chunk to build in. I only got that because I built this insanely quickly and I wanted more room to build stuff for myself. So this is my plot that I built. It's a little tiny tic-tac-toe game, and if you want to see this, tell me and I can make a video on this tic-tac-toe game, because I have made an even smaller one on Synergy right after this one. But as you can see, we have a lot of plots, and that you can make a lot in one chunk. Like all of this 2020 ride is all in one chunk, and probably one of the coolest things on this right now is this ride over here, made by Simon, who's on right now, who's the 3D printing professor. If we just go into spectator mode, why didn't that work? Why can I go into... Oh, right, my chat's off. I'm stupid. Hold on. Let me turn my chat on. So if we go into spectator mode and we just kind of look under here, this is all in one chunk. You can build a lot in one chunk. It's really cool, and I also helped with a rail door over here, which I made myself in a couple seconds. It was actually really cool. So if we push this button... Come on, there we go. We get a little rail door thing, and it closes up like that, in case you kind of exit the minecart and be stupid and get stuck. So yeah, this is the server. So if you're interested in this, consider joining. It's really cool. There's a lot of cool stuff. And oh my god, is that the boat? It's the boat. If you know 3D printing stuff, you will recognize this boat. That's kind of funny. They have the actual boat. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video on a very different place that I normally do my videos. So yeah, if you actually want to see that Dance Dance Revolution, you have to join this server. So I'll link that video in the description. Like I said, God, I'm talking too much. Goodbye.